guys, so welcome to the new year. This is my first video of the new year. I actually was trying to record this last week and I ended up deleting it and ended up not uploading properly, and it was this whole debacle that was, crazy. But I'm here and I need to give a little bit of a disclaimer in this video before I start. I live in a medical marijuana legal state, so I have my medical card to use it, and I'm going to just be using it for entertainment purposes and to kind of relax with you guys and to kind of talk about my topic today. As such, this video will not be for kids, not like many of mine are, but this is just a disclaimer so that you guys know I don't want you guys doing it if you don't already have tried it, and if you don't like it, don't do it. I'm just gonna do it, and yeah, so with that being said, let's start up this. I have a little bit left of this one. Is Triangle Kush pre-roll. I love the first hit, or the first hit in a while. It's been about an hour or so, which is a while to me. Anyways, so today, I wanted to talk about the MBTI types, and I kind of wanted to relate them to different video games, okay? So, and the more popular kind of video games, I tried to pick one from various parts of the series. Some are the newer varieties, some are the are older games. So, with that being said, I want to start off with the INFJ, and I picked Spyro to represent that one. Spyro himself is probably not an INFJ. I mean, he's probably like an ES or an IS probably type. But I picked Spyro because Spyro is this purple dragon that's born once a century, or once every century, I think it was, and basically he has to. All the dragons at least in the first game, get turned to ice sculptures, and they're being drained of their power, and Spyro has to go through all these worlds to travel and find his dragon's kin, so that way he can, save them and stop the person who's doing this, right? So, I picked Spyro because I think that's very NI to SE, like, journey, and it's very, it's very FE auxiliary function based. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. So that one I really think was a great one for that one. What do you guys? If you guys want to tell me what you picked for these ones too, let me know. If you disagree, let me know too. I love to hear. So. Sorry, I'm smiling because I know it feels awkward to be smoking on camera for the first time, but yeah, I don't smile this much when I'm smoking. I promise. Anyways. For INTJ, I picked Dark Souls, particularly the first one, because I figured it was very NI to SE, like journey, like you were this undead that had to go after these bells and then go after this thing and go after, it was very like journey-like, but it was also very, you had to know how to do certain things without messing up. You had to know what made sense to do in certain areas and what made sense not to do, like not to dodge by rolling forward on this move, or don't heal this time, dumbass. You just gotta figure it out, So that's kind of why I picked Dark Souls. And it's very like a challenging game, and the people that play it who beat it are like really known for the ego of like, oh, I beat Dark Souls because it's a really hard game, and it's really hard. Don't get me wrong, it's really hard, but on the other hand, I think that it just represents INTJ. It's a very, and I feel like that's another non-explanatory one, I don't think. Anyways, let's get to the ENFJ. And I picked Until Dawn, which is, if you don't know that, it's a computer-based game where you kind of control different characters, and you have it's the story being told from different angles. And basically, like, I figured that was very FENI like, because it's like you're kind of seeing how the story kind of pieces together at the end, by seeing all these different points of view, and then you're kind of piecing it with NI, and you're kind of it was a very mystical game. It's based off in like these in like a mountainy area with some like you know paranormal elements to it. So I figured it was very NI like, and yeah, I figured that was very self-explanatory too. So next we have the ENTJ. I picked Call of Duty because I figured that Call of Duty is more of a multiplayer, which I figured online automatically, and I figured that you have to kind of be able to be aware of all of your kind of places, of all like the screen placements of like who's coming from where, you know, where you have to go to, the map, you know, where people are dying on the map, and who's shooting you from location X and Y and Z, and where you're being shot from, and it's just all these different things that end up happening. You have to be so adept at it and know this entire spectrum of what to do, when to do it, and timing. I know that's very SE like timing. It's like very, which is why I think Dark Souls again for INTJ, because it's very rhythm. Like you need to know the rhythm of battle. You need to know the rhythm of the game. You need to know how to. You need to know the environment too. You know, it's very SE like for both those. So I think that's why I picked Call of Duty for the ENTJ. And I mean, it's very. I mean, you're getting enjoyment out of like personal enjoyment out of doing this thing, interacting with people, and doing it and playing that game. You know, so I feel like that's very TE to FI transition theory. So yeah. So next we're gonna do the NF. So I picked the INFP first, and that was Sims. So for the INFP, the reason I picked Sims is because it's first off SI. I know that we shouldn't really equate behaviors to functions, but I associate SI to what makes sense to them, and kind of like near that, like if this checklist of X Y Z A through Z makes sense to you, but I only need to know steps A, F, K, O, and Z. I can kind of work through the other steps via what I know. Then I feel like that's, you know, it's more structured towards that. I think like but you also have the freedom of making it how you want it to be, because you can kind of like try out different things and move this way and put this way and do this that way and try out like new pieces of furniture and sell a thing, and then you know, and you don't have to leave your house. I mean, I know that a lot of INFPs are known for not leaving their house, so bonus, you know, great bonus. You don't have to leave your house. You can go, you can explore and not have to leave your house. No, which is great. So next we'll do the INTP, and I picked Minecraft. Sorry guys, that was a weird noise. But Minecraft, sorry, my thing is going up because it's getting low. But Minecraft, you know, we all know what Minecraft is. I shouldn't say I shouldn't really describe what Minecraft is. But Trevor, why is it very INTP like, right? Well, I'll tell you guys. It's very INTP like because it ends up like INTPs are known for their sense of, a lot of them like anime, a lot of them like kind of like their own world, and a lot of them like to kind of like build what makes sense to them and what they like to build and what they want. So I feel like it's very interesting to kind of to build what they want and make it how they want it to be, exactly how they want it to be. It's very TI, and then they can kind of change up everything. It's very NE like, in terms of, you know, and they can go out and help people they want to, but it's not primarily based on helping people. They can go out and help friends they want to, but they can also just stay and make their own thing, or do survival mode, or do this, and it all depends on what they're wanting to do in that any moment, you know. But it also has the SI structure where you can have the menu to kind of choose what you want and change up everything and do all that stuff, right? So it's very that's why I think of INTP like is like ENFP. So I picked for the ENFPs my favorite game series of all time, but in particular the first game of the series, and it's a very more it's more popular now than it originally was when it came out and when it was first being played. So this is my favorite game. I've known it since I was like probably 7 or 8 or something, maybe even earlier than that, 6. I don't know what age, but my cousin showed it to me, and I've been in love with it since. And it's called Kingdom Hearts. Now Kingdom Hearts is like an action RPG with it has Final Fantasy mixed with Disney, and you probably know it from Kingdom Hearts 3 or maybe 2 and 1 if you already played those two, right? But why did I pick it for ENFP, right? Because it's very NEFI. It's very like the characters in particular in the plot is about going to different worlds and wanting to escape and go to different worlds, or not maybe not wanting to escape for all of them, but like some of them wanted to escape, others wanted to just kind of explore, and they all got what they wanted, and to some degree, and that's very NE like. But it's also at the end it kind of it has the feeling impact of oh this can actually impact you because of all the feelings that are happening. It's very small spectrum of feelings, so yeah, so it's very I feel like it's very that's a very NEFI like, and I mean it's very nowhere else would you really find a combination of Disney and Final Fantasy if you didn't have like an ENFP, because they're very they're very they're very in the moment, but playful in the moment. Like they can kind of like play with ideas in the moment and make it happen, and and their TE is very very good for those skills where they kind of will toss in what works, and it ends up working really well, and I enjoy it a lot, and that's why I picked the ENFP as Kingdom Hearts. You're going to different. Do I have to say more about Kingdom Hearts? You're going to different worlds. You're seeing multiple stories across multiple different worlds from different characters and different things. And you might say that would be NI, but in reality, you're going across all these different worlds, and you're seeing what all these worlds have to offer, and they're connected, but they're not connected at the same time. And that's the important part. Is that they're connected, but they're not connected. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, moving on from Kingdom Hearts and the ENFP, we have the ENTP. And we have Mario Kart. I had a hard time picking this one because I knew that ENTPs were more social and were more, outgoing, and they were more competitive, and I figured that was like a more racing game, and so I kind of just tried to figure out what would make sense for them, and what racing game was fun, and which one would be like, which one would be kind of more suited towards them, where like it's very it's all based in the same universe, but it has multiple different things, and it's very organized, but it's very like it has a lot to see in the races, and like I figured that was very ENTJ like ENTP like with the NE. I figured that because it was very like diverse, but it was kind of based off the same thing, but it was kind of spread out along a lot over like multiple different like racetracks and cups and characters and this layout and that layout. I thought it was very NEFI like. And then on top of that, I felt like because you can kind of figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, you can kind of like structure it based on what you want. And I feel like that's very TI like. So for me, that's why I picked. FE is also like wanting to play with people and wanting to have fun with people, and so, or at least to me, like I feel like they kind of want to have fun, but also show people that they're better than them in that game, because ENTPs are very cocky and they will be that person that will be like, oh, I'm only playing this game because I'm better than you, right? So anyways, moving along to the IJs, the ISJs, and the ESJs. So we have for the ISFJ, we have Cooking Mama. I figured that was very SI like. It was very I figured it was you wanted to make these SI is very tradition like, and with Cooking Mama you kind of have like this tradition of like, oh, like it's very recipe based too, so and that's what I was trying to say. It's more recipe based than tradition based. So when you have traditions, you usually have recipes that are made for the tradition, and when you have the recipes, and when you're playing a game with recipe based, it's also very like this, and this, combine this, do this. It's kind of like it's not as intuitive. It's more so just like listed and bullet pointed, which is good for baking and for things of that nature. Um, but a person that I don't know, I feel like a person would a personification of the Cooking Mama game would be ISFJ because you FE and TI wants to have family, wants to have that kind of gathering together, especially with SI. Like when you have family with ISFJ, like you end up being family for a long time, and I mean until they start to feel like they're distant from you, and then they'll start to be really bad to you. But but until that point, you're fine. So they're going to want those games that bring them that joyous kind of like, oh, I remember this time because this game had to make this recipe, or this time was great because and and it's bringing back all the memories that I felt during this time, and all these different things, right? So that's why I picked ISFJ for Cooking Mama. Um, for the ISTJ, I picked Tetris. No, I didn't pick Tetris. I originally did, but I wanted to pick something more fun, I think. So I picked racing games like Need for Speed and all that stuff. They're very interesting games that I figure they don't involve a whole lot of online stuff. They're more, from what I remember, they're more single playered, and you had like a bunch of maps that you're really good at. So I figured that was very like you kind of like you could pick your character, and TE is for that one at least is more so like wanting to beat beat the things and beat other people, and when you do online, and like wanting to get better at the game, and wanting to just learn the races and learn the cars so much that you will be able to beat most people or anyone, while also having fun with other people, because you want to have fun, you want to enjoy the game, but you also know what works for you, and you know how to do it basically. So that's why I picked the ISTJ for racing games. For the ESFJ, I picked The Last of Us. So I figured that was a very caring game because you're creating this scene where like you meet all these characters, you go from location to location, you meet these characters, and you become like family with them, and you open up to them, and then they open up to you, and then people die, and this happens, and that happens, and you just you keep going and going, and you just very any like where you're kind of going from place to place to place to place to place. Yeah, there's one objective in the end, in the totality of it, but there's many different objectives that you have to do to get to that one. I feel like, and they were very different from what the overall one was like, even though they led to what it was. So even though that sounds and I figured it was more and like because like you have all these things you have to do. Maybe I should change that one up. I don't know, but I don't think I agree with that one anymore. But I'm gonna leave that one there. And I felt like it was very like effy, like you were going from place to place, and you were trying to help people along the way, and you wanted to you needed to help people along the way because you needed them because they needed you, So in that situation, yeah, I figured that would be at least for that game, yeah, I figured that would be an ESFJ. So the next one I picked Pokemon for the ESTJ, and I picked Pokemon because I figured it was very, it was more so like you could, you had certain objectives that you could reach, but you could kind of switch your Pokemon if you wanted to, and so it's very like, you can switch up your team, and you can use your NE to switch up all your team and make it more, and try different things and see what works. But your SI could also be like, oh no, I want this and this to work, especially with your SITE. You're like, oh, this works, okay. But in reality, you're probably just going to, I mean, you might end up, trying new things and see, be like, oh, does this work? Does this Pokemon work? And you want to get better, you want to the Pokemon that you do choose, you might end up wanting to almost level up a bunch of times because, or as much as you can because you like them and you want them to be able to overcome anything that you throw at them or the game throws at them, and that's great. I mean, that's a great attitude to go through. I mean, that's what I would or that's what I would give the ESTJ to Pokemon because it's very. Oh, and I need to tell you why I chose E. The reason why I chose E is because you it's just such a popular game and it's it's everywhere, and that's kind of why I picked E over I. I mean, I know that's not the best way to do it because I mean, you're still doing TE to beat all the gyms and to beat everyone you come across to try and level your Pokemon and get as many Pokemon as you can. This is very TE based, that's why I kind of also picked it. But I think I picked it as well to represent E because it's very expansive, very everywhere. It's open. It's very there. TE and NE are it's open and you just throw stuff in. It's just like, okay, will this work? Okay, let's just toss it in. Let's combine these two into this one thing. So, anyways, let's get on to the last four. I'm sorry, this video's been 22 minutes almost, and I am so sorry. But I have the IPs, or the ISPs, and the ESPs. So let's start with the ISPs. The ISFP, I picked the Resident Evil 7 Biohazard because it was very it was I felt like you had this overall goal of going after your wife and finding her and getting her out, and no matter what the game threw at you, you were like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get through this. My arms got cut off by a chainsaw. Okay, I'll just toss some freaking liquid on it and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's just toss some liquid on it. My arm will grow back. Simple logic, right? No, that's not simple logic. But in that environment, it makes sense. It makes sense that your arm would heal up right away, and then it could be stapled back on. It makes sense for the game purpose and for the overall logic of that environment. Yeah, it makes sense. And it's very NI driven, but with more of a focus on what the character is doing and what is supposed to be done morally in terms of what subjectively you would do in that situation versus what will be done by most people. I mean, I feel like most people in that situation would go after their wife, but I feel like for this case, it was more like I feel like it was more driven that way. Also, a lot of ISPs and ESPs are into spiritual stuff and paranormal stuff. So that's kind of also why I picked it because I know it's a very common stereotype with the ISPs and ESPs. Do not tell me it's not because I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of ISPs and ESPs be into paranormal stuff. So with that being said, let's move on to the ISTP, and I picked, what did I pick? I can't read my own handwriting. Infamous. Yes, Infamous. That game where you are this conduit that ends up being able to use some powers, some magical powers because of some freak accident that happened, and you have to go after the people that you need answers from and this and that, and it's very NI driven like Resident Evil is. But I feel like it's more so focused on the overall going after it's TI to FE because you're not really caring about why it impacted you. You're more so caring about how it happened. With very TI, you want to know why and how it happened. With NI, either understanding. So it's you're almost you're going back and forth between wanting to know why it happened and who did it and the overall aspect of it, so you can kind of put it all together in your head and make it this aha moment, right? And then you're trying to solve that of go in the world and figure out who did it out of everyone, and that's very FE based, being able to tell, oh yeah, who are you, or what do you do, or why are you so nervous, or this or that, or do you know who I am, or this or that, right? Right? And then SE like as well, because like you're trying to go out and like use swords and use these things to kind of kill people, and you're going after your objective really really strongly. So I feel that is very SE based. Um, and you're very driven as a character, so it's very like, you're going after this thing, you have to do it. So I think that's why it's very that way. So last two is going to be the ESFP and the ESTP. So they're both very similar games, I want to say. So the ESFP, I picked Shadow the Tomb Raider. Um, this was a combination of the main character being interested in it because of her own subjective interest, but also because of the whole journey, the NI journey of, the NI interest, and like the journey from like sensory of like, okay, I'm, you know this that's a sensory and FI, so SE and FI combination at first, to a combination of or towards the ending of NI, of understanding why it happened, understanding how to solve it, and how to stop it, what you have to do to stop it. So the culmination of the journey, in a sense, of that moment from all the data that you've seen, collected, and done. So I feel like that's why I picked ESFP. It's very extroverted, like you're going out to all these different locations within like this island, and like you're solving all these puzzles that come along, and you're jumping around, and you're doing all these FC type of activities, like you're doing a lot of physical activities. I figured that that's why I picked ESFP. And then the last one, woohoo, 27 minutes in, and last one, Trevor. Awesome. So the last one I picked the ESTP. So the ESTP, I picked, which is for is Zelda Breath of the Wild. So it's a very extroverted game. It's a very big game, I should say. So I figured, like, you're going around, you're climbing mountains, you're diving into across lakes, and like you're jumping around shrines, and like you're shooting things, and like you're timing bombs correctly, and you're on this big quest at the end towards, for the end, I guess, to kill Ganon, and like you have this overall thing, objective at the end. They have to kind of reach, that's kind of the journey from SE and I. You're collecting all these things to defeat this thing at the end and complete this overall thing that you have to do, that was set for you by these people. And I feel like that's why I picked it, because of that whole correlation. And with TI and FE in the middle, it's like you're kind of going around and trying to unlock things around the map, and like figure out, okay, like, where am I? How big is Hyrule? How big is this place we're in? Where am I in this world? Like, like where all these, I need to find all these shrines to complete my objective, and I need to, and you're helping all these people, and all these people need my help, and this and that, and Link is running around helping people complete quests and doing this and that for people, and I think that's very TIFE like, so that's why I picked the ESTP as Zelda Breath of the Wild. So with that being said, this video is now complete at 30 minutes, and I am so sorry for anyone who watched this far. I doubt people did. Anyways, I will see you at the next one, and peace.